Hey guys, how you doing today? Hope you can hear me. Today is Wednesday, August 29th. This is my midday, and this is really going to be kind of crazy, and I'm probably not going to get this all in. So, I was really fired up today about the video I wanted to share at midday, because I grew up a sports junkie and love sports, and I relate sports to life in a lot of ways. And ironically today, I walked through the hometown of the legendary Mickey Mantle, and that got me thinking about life and sports and how it's a microcosm of life and a bunch of things. And I had this plan to share a certain message. Sometimes I try to actually make a point when I talk about things as opposed to just rambling incessantly, but I really thought I had a message to send today and share with you guys about kind of grasping life and how a moment in life can change the dramatic outcome of it, and you know how we need to be prepared. And I had this kind of whole speech set up, and then something just happened which is beyond, I don't know, it's not beyond, but it's really cool. And now I'm just a stupid giddy kid all over again. So let me share that with you for a moment. So let me try to get myself together for a second, because I'm literally just outside. This wall behind me here is a restaurant filled with something I'm going to tell you about. Anyway, so I believe sports teaches so much about life, and I wanted to kind of give you all, even if you're not sports fans, hang tight with me, because I think you'll get some benefit from this, because there's a life lesson I think I'd like to try to get across, if it's at all possible. So I walked through the hometown of Mickey Mantle in Commerce, Oklahoma, who was just one of the greatest ball players of all time. In fact, some would argue the greatest ball player of all time. And it's had me thinking about life, sort of what I'm doing, sort of what we all do every day, and how sometimes you have moments in time that the outcome might be life-changing. So on that note, let's talk sports for a minute. I want to give you all a quiz out there, and I want to give you a few names and let you tell me if any of these names jump out at you and what you know about them. So the first one is a gentleman by the name of Hal Smith. Hal Smith. The second is a gentleman by the name of Marcus Page. And the last one is a gentleman by the name of Ray Finkel. So pause for a moment and ask yourself if you know anything about those three. All right? And I'm being a bit of a jackass right now, because the third one, Ray Finkel, was the fictional character from Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. But if the laces weren't out and he made that field goal, his whole life would be changed. Is kind of the point I'm going with here. Anyway, if you don't know the first two, or they kind of sound familiar, let me tell you a little bit, give you a little walk through history of them and how, you know, maybe their life would be a little bit different, maybe a lot different, who knows. So in the 1960 World Series, the Pirates were playing the Yankees, and a player by the name of Hal Smith, I believe he was a backup catcher, went in the game in the top of the 8th inning to replace somebody defensively. And he came up in the bottom of the 8th inning, and he hit a 3-run home run to give the Pirates a 9-7 lead. Crowd going bonkers. Pirates hadn't won. The vaunted Yankees. 9-7 lead going to the top of the 9th. The Pirates get 3 outs, and Hal Smith is a hero from now until forever, and will forever be renowned for his game-winning 3-run home run. Right? But sometimes the script doesn't work out the way it's planned, or maybe it does work out the way it's planned. As fate would have it, the Yankees come back and tie the game up in the bottom of the 9th, or in the top of the 9th rather, and they go into extra innings. And in the 10th inning, Bill Mazeroski, which is a name a lot of you baseball fans probably know, hits the game-winning home run, and everybody celebrates Bill Mazeroski as the World Series winning home run hitting guy, and everybody goes bonkers. And Hal Smith most likely lives out his baseball career in oblivion, and many of you probably don't know who Hal Smith is or know the story of Hal Smith. But again, you know, you get 3 outs, the Pirates get 3 outs on the top of the 9th, and who knows how Smith is revered around town, who knows what it leads to business possibilities, autograph signings, who knows what. So Hal Smith hits a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Pirates, gives them a 9-7 lead, and if they can just get 3 outs, he's a hero. But like I said, life doesn't always work out the way you think it might. So instead, the Yankees tie it. Bill Mazeroski hits the game-winning home run, and the Maz is infamous for his game-winning World Series home run. So again, there are moments in life where an outcome of something or a result changes something so drastically. Another person I mentioned earlier was a gentleman by the name of Marcus Page. This is more recent. So think for a second if any of you folks know who Marcus Page is. So Marcus Page was a college basketball player, and he'd been in the NBA, but Marcus Page played for the University of North Carolina, and he ran up against the Villanova Wildcats in the 2016 National Championship game. And Marcus Page led his team from a 10-point deficit in the last couple of minutes, and he took and hit one of the most miraculous shots in college basketball history. A double clutching shot lefty from the hip, three-pointer that ties the game with like 1.6 seconds left. And all the momentum was going Carolina's way. 1.6 seconds left in the game. If they go to overtime and somehow win the game, Marcus Page's shot goes on to be known as possibly the shot that nobody forgets, the one that is iconic, and Carolina fans will remember forever for that championship that it brought him and so forth. Well, again, as fate would have it, Arch brings the ball up court, kicks it to Chris. I'm a Villanova fan, so I can be on a first-name basis with these guys, although Arch was his nickname. Hits the buzzer. Chris Jenkins hits the buzzer beater. He has the iconic basketball shot. You know, he is famed for in Villanova folklore as the guy that won them the national championship with that buzzer beater. Great moment in sports history, and it's only a few years ago, so you still might remember Marcus Page and his feat. But again, 20 years from now, when people remember the national championship game, people are going to remember in Chris Jenkins' three-pointer, not Marcus Page's shot. So in a matter of about 1 minute of real life time, 1.6 seconds of basketball time, this guy went from being the potential, hero of many, many years and many, many fans in Carolina to being, just the guy to hit a great shot. So I joked about Ray Finkel, but there's obviously it's fictional, but I mean there really are moments in our life where we do things that have an outcome, a great outcome on our future, and we might not know it at the time. And sometimes it's positive, but a lot of times, it might be negative. You think about these people that drink and drive, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I've been there. You think about people that this shooter down in Jacksonville the other day. I mean, I don't know what the hell was going through his head, but what happened in that 1 or 2 or 3 minutes that changed the lives of so many? That was kind of the message and the point that I was trying to bring out, was that we go about our life every day, and we don't know when we wake up that morning. There may be a moment in our lives that is ever changing. I was back coming out of Galena, Texas, that's not true, Galena, Kansas, heading towards Riverton, and I'd heard about a story and saw 2 crosses by the side of the road. And what happened just recently, a few months ago, and it brought it to my attention because I am worried about my safety sometimes on the side of the road. 2 gentlemen had come over from Germany and were bicycling Route 66. And the story as was related to me, and I don't know anything about factually this, but they were riding in the right lane of a 2-lane road, and a truck was coming up on them. A girl following behind that truck in the right lane. The truck pulled around them to pass them on the left. And what happened next, I don't know. If the girl didn't have the foresight to see them, paying attention, not paying attention anyway, when you're in a car doing 55 or 60 miles an hour, you have a pretty good closing time on 2 guys on a bicycle. Anyway, she hit and killed these 2 men. And, again, when she woke up that morning, she didn't set out to do that. I'm not even saying she did anything wrong. I don't think any charges were pressed against her as far as I know, so I'm not implying by any stretch of the imagination that she did anything wrong. But again, we wake up every day and we just take things for granted. We don't know that there may come in a moment in our life that will change our destiny, for the good or for the bad. And that's one of the things that I just wanted to kind of share with you guys, to take a moment and embrace that fact when you wake up today or tomorrow. And it might just be another run-of-the-mill day, but it might not be. Who knows what could happen. And to Marcus Page and to Hal Smith, their life might have had a very different course in terms of endorsements or career or whatever, had other things, had those things held on. So I wanted to share that story with you. But while I'm doing that, somebody asked me earlier if I'm losing weight, and if you follow my journey today, you would know that I only several hours ago for breakfast had meatloaf and mashed potatoes. I went and did some laundry, and I was on the outskirts of Miami, Oklahoma, and I'm heading uptown to actually meet the newspaper folks. And as I come out of the laundromat, I look up and I said, "Is that Billy Sims' restaurant? Is that Billy Sims number 20? So a couple neat stories about this. So Billy Sims, again, talking about, you know, what could have happened. Billy Sims was one of the greatest NFL, and let me rephrase it, greatest NCAA running backs of all time for the University of Oklahoma. Won the Heisman Trophy in 1978, was the #1 pick of the Detroit Lions, and was just a phenomenal, I mean, one of the all-time great college football players ever. In Billy's rookie year, he blew out his knee and tore up his knee, and never really played again. So again, you know, that morning, Billy woke up and was ready to go play a game and hopefully have the game of his life, and in one play, a few short minutes later, his destiny was changed. And some people are prepared to handle that change and some people aren't, and that's kind of, again, the message I wanted to share with this. I don't know what happened to Hal Smith after his baseball career ended. I don't know what's going on in Marcus Page's life right now, and I don't even know what's happening in Billy Sims' life. But a couple of stories with the Billy Sims thing is my first job. I'm a real big sports fan. My first job that was a on the books job was working in college for Allstate Insurance Company. I worked for what they call the Central Theft Unit. All cars in New York State that got stolen called into this department, and I would take the first reports. And one of the things I had to do was take the license plate number. Well, this one day, this gentleman called me up, and I got his plate number was OU20. And I said, "Look, I mean, I have to ask." And he said, "Yeah, Billy's a good friend of mine, and I went to school with him." So that was a little bit about me and Billy. The other part is that in my younger years, I was a diehard fan of Oklahoma's rival, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and I just confessed that inside, and it wasn't welcomed all that well. So Billy and the Sooners beat the living daylights out of us for a lot of years, so I have to take off my hat and give much respect to that. But then the story gets even a little bit cooler. So here I am at the Billy Sims restaurant, again, this wall right behind me here. Memorabilia all inside. I took a bunch of pictures I'll share later. But one of the pictures really struck me. It was 3 Heisman Trophy winners for Oklahoma. Billy Sims, Steve Owens, and Jason White. Jason White was in the last decade. Billy Sims was 1978, and Steve Owens was 1969. I believe, late 60s. Anyway, what I come to find out is that Steve Owens' hometown is Miami, Oklahoma, and that they told me as I walk up the road a ways, I'm going to see Steve Owens Boulevard or Steve Owens Avenue. So, again, inside of a 8-mile, 2-hour walk, I walk past Mickey Mantle's hometown, Steve Owens' hometown, you know, Billy Sims' restaurant, and I already had planned on talking about kind of sports and sports history and some little-known folks that you may or may not even recall. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go inside. Oh, by the way, as I said, gaining weight, losing weight. So 2 hours ago, I had meatloaf and mashed potatoes, and 3 hours ago, and because I just can't walk in a place and start taking pictures without ordering something, I just had a pulled pork sandwich and corn on the cob. So, no, to those wonder how I'm not losing weight on this journey, this is how. So, I love you all. Thank you for following. I'm sorry I'm just kind of being a giddy sports fan right now. It's really cool stuff in there. I wish some of the pitches weren't all against Nebraska, that I watched those games live and felt pain. But again, just ask yourselves, guys, that you know, be prepared and ask yourself how you would be prepared when something changes, some moment in time changes your life for the better or for the worse. You know, are you prepared for it? Can you be prepared for it? Like I said, Hal Smith, Marcus Page, Billy Sims, these are athletes that had moments in time that possibly changed their future and their destiny. So that's what I got for today, guys. Sorry if that sounded preachy. Hope there was a little bit of sports knowledge thrown at you there. My facts may or may not be right. They're going off the top of my head, but I'm pretty darn accurate with these things a lot. Anyway, that's what I got. Love you guys. Kira, Landon, Grace, you guys behave yourselves. I can't wait to talk to you tonight after school. I'm going to finish cleaning up inside and then head on down and maybe hopefully meet the Miami newspaper, Miami, and have a great day, guys. Love you all.